Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'll be telling you about the new laws that are coming into place in 2023. And at the moment, our parliament in Berlin is working on the new laws, and it's going to be of advantage to a lot of people in this country. And before I will start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Iyare Imasi, and I am a lawyer here in Germany. I speak both English and German, so you shouldn't be surprised that I'm talking here in English language. So now, first of all, I will tell you how it was before when it comes to naturalization, having a German passport. Before, the conditions are that at least you should be in possession of a resident permit for at least 8 years. There are equally conditions where people who are married to German citizens or somebody with a German passport for a period of 3 years, and after 3 years, you can apply for a German passport when the conditions are fulfilled. So here I'm going to be talking about people who are obliged to have a resident permit for at least 8 years in the country. So after having 8 years resident permit and you are working, when I mean working, you are able to feed yourself and your household without not taking public aid, public social money, and then your identity has to be cleared, which means you have not been hiding your identity. Your country of origin is known. You have an international passport for your country of origin, and you don't have to be a criminal as well, which means you never involve yourself in any kind of crime in the country. And you have to accept that in Germany, it is the democratic society that prevails, the democratic system, and you are not involved in any kind of terrorist organization or trying to do something that will affect the nation of Germany in terms of terrorism. So, and then, and so forth, you have to equally have a German level of certificate, which is B1. B1 is really not so difficult. You start with A1. From A1, you go to A2. From A2, you get to B1, which means you are able to express yourself in German and as well equally write in German. And then there are some other conditions too, that you have to present your birth certificate and some kind of other necessary certificates that the Ausländerbehörde, that is the immigration office in Germany, will require from you. And when you have all these things I mentioned, and not last but not least, you must have worked at least for 36 months in Germany and have already paid tax 36 months into the tax system in the finance office. So when all these conditions are fulfilled, you'll be allowed, based on the formal law, to apply for a German passport, a German nationality. And in some cases, for some countries in the world, they are allowed to keep their home passport, their passport of origin, state of origin, and as well gets a German passport as well, which means they have 2 passports. But there are countries in the world as well, most especially in Africa and Asia, they have to give up their former passport before they can be given a German nationality. So, and when everything is done, you will now be given a certificate. And from the time you are given a certificate, you are then a German. So that is how it was going before the new law has decided will now come into place from next year, When exactly, we don't really know, we lawyers. We only know that the parliament is working on it and it's going to come definitely next year. So what the new law says is that if you have been living here for at least 5 years and you are working, you can you earn enough money on your own, you can take care of yourself, your identity is cleared, and you are not a criminal, and you equally have the German level of B1, you can then apply to have a German citizenship, and then it will be given to you. And the new law equally says that the idea of asking you guys formally to give up your nationality, your homeland nationality, will now probably be cancelled. So which means both your homeland nationality and the new nationality that, which means the German nationality that you'll be given, you're allowed to keep both of them. Then you have both passports. So this is a very good news for people who have been trying to get a German nationality in Germany. And then we have instances where children born here were not given the German nationality. Before, it says, before a child can have a German nationality here that has a foreign, parents, at least one of the parents must have lived in Germany for 8 years and should have at least a permanent visa. If you have a permanent visa, if the father is having a permanent visa or the mother is having a permanent visa and at least has lived here up to 8 years, at the time of birth of the child, which means the time the child was born, these conditions must have been created already, and then the child will now have automatic German passport. So which means as at the time of birth, a parent must have lived in Germany for 8 years with a resident permit, not just living illegal, not just only living with a temporary resident permit, but it has to be a resident permit. And then he or she must have a permanent resident permit, and then the child will be born. When the child is born, the child is automatically a German. So now, the new law that is coming says that it's enough when a parent is in the country for at least 5 years and he has B1. He can at least communicate in the German language, and he can feed himself and his family. He's not taking money from the social office, and he's not a criminal. His identity is cleared, which means he has a passport that proves that his identity is cleared, and a birth certificate, and some other condition that has to be fulfilled. When all these things are available, the child born will now have a German passport. So, and the child is allowed to have as well a double nationality. So which means the nationality of the parents will be, the child will be allowed to keep the nationality of the parents, because each child, any child born anywhere in the world, the first nationality that the child gets is the nationality of the mother. So nobody needs a proof to prove if somebody was delivered by a woman, because the hospital or wherever the child was delivered knows that the child is from the mother. So, and presently in Germany, as of 2021, 131,600 people got the German passport. So at the moment, 11.8 million people are living in Germany as foreigners. So 5 million people may now have the new passport, or may now have the possibility to have the new, through the new regulation that's going to come in 2023, the chance to now have the German passport after 5 years. So, based on the other ones that are married to a German national, as far as you live in a marriage after 3 years and you have all the conditions I've mentioned before, most especially the language course B1, and with good integration, you'll be allowed to equally have a German passport when you apply. So, gentlemen, I will now be going to the new resident permit laws that are coming into place. We don't really know exactly when it's going to be a law. When the law is passed out in our parliament in Berlin, it has to be published in what we call Bundesanzeiger. This Bundesanzeiger is where almost all the laws are being published, the federal laws are being published. It is when the laws are published in that Bundesanzeiger, the law becomes usable, which means it now becomes valid. It is then lawyers and the court and the immigration office and whichever government office in the country in Germany is allowed to apply this law and use it on the necessary situation. So we equally have new laws in terms of resident permit that are coming up. The parliament in Berlin is working on it. And before I forget, the reason for our parliament in Berlin to reduce the 8 years to 5 years is because they want to speed up integration of foreigners that are living with us here in Germany, so that if you perform in a very good way, if you are doing, for instance, what we call charity works and charity helps within the society, as we call these people, we have them here. You have UNICEF, you have Red Cross, we have AVO, we have Wohlfahrtsverbände. If you work there and bring your free time to and sacrifice your time for less privileged people, even the 5 years for the German passport can be reduced to 3 years. So it is on special conditions that will not make you enjoy, will come into that possibility to not have that 3 years opportunity to now get a German passport. So the new law that we are talking about too says, in terms of resident permit, says that when somebody is in the country here, whether you are being allowed to stay temporarily because of asylum, or you have been with a visa here for some time, because we have different kinds of visas in this country. So not all of them are really strong for you to be able to do anything that you want to do in the country. But if you are living here temporarily on asylum and on some other cases, at least before on the 1st of January 2022, which means 31st of December 2022, you must have been at least 5 years in Germany, known and registered in Germany. So if you are here up to that 5 years, next year, when the law comes into place, probably in May or so, you will be entitled to have a resident permit. So, and this resident permit, of course, is equally combined on the usual conditions that everyone who needs a resident permit has to fulfill, at least speak a little German, maybe having a job, and you can take care of yourself. You are not a criminal. And the most important thing, the identity has to be cleared, because there are a lot of people that are here in this country and they are hiding their identity because they don't want to be deported to their home place of origin, because many of the probably many of the countries where these guys are coming from, they don't really have problems that makes them to seek asylum outside their country. So because there are no wars in such countries, in the countries where there are wars, of course, they are accepted. They will be accepted in Germany as refugees. So further conditions are that you have to accept and sign a paper that this country is a democratic society. It's not a society where a king is ruling. It's not a society where dictators are ruling. It's not a society where people extremists are ruling in terms of religion. So you have to accept that Germany is a democratic society, and then you equally have the right to get this visa. And the visa can only be given, first of all, for only 1 year. And this 1 year will now help you. If you have not been working before, it will be enough for you to look for a job, and then so that you can feed yourself and take care of your family if you have family with you. So as at the moment, it is known that in Germany, people that are staying here temporarily, that normally supposed to be deported, they couldn't be deported from one reason or the other. There are about 242,029 foreigners. So, and from this law, from this new law that is coming into place next year, 136,605 foreigners are going to profit from it. So it is something very great, so that you guys will now have the chance to enter into the society, contribute into the society, and equally be good integrated, so that when you are integrated, you find things easier. And the language too is equally very important, that when you speak the German language, almost all doors are open for you in Germany. So we equally have for next year, 2023, the chance, a new law that our federal government in Berlin is equally processing for young people to the age of 27 that are good integrated into the society, that speaks German very well, or maybe they have learned a job, or they are going to school, and so are not only that, they are able to feed themselves. So even if you are having a temporary Duldung as an asylum, or living in Germany with a kind, there are some kinds of visas, for instance, paragraph 25, that does not really allow you to do a lot in the German society. And very, very important, those guys that are really doing charity jobs are the ones that are really focused on to have this new visa because of integrated society, because they are good, they are well integrated into the society. Young people and overage people to the age of 27, as I said, they can, even if you are here up to 3 years, from the age of from 3 years stay in Germany, you can really get this visa and apply for it. There are some people that at least they have to be here for 6 years. Now, based on the new conditions that are coming, they will be now given the new visa. So then we have a new visa, a new law too, for people that are coming in here as expats, as an expat from all over the world. Before, when you want to bring your wife, or you want to bring your children, or the wife want to bring the husband, or she or he or she is already in the country, the one that is coming in has to prove the little knowledge of the German language. So now the new law is now they are planning to now make an exception that for such people, the language certificate, the proof of German language certificate should no longer be a condition, so that it will be easier for them to come to Germany, to come and join their husbands or their wives, or join their fathers or their mothers. So, gentlemen, this is all it is all about at the moment. Be very, very skeptical. Open your ears. watch very well. What I'm telling you now is that the laws have not been passed. It has been, sorry, it's been processed in Berlin. And when it has finally gone through all the proceedings, it will be published, as I said before, in Bundesanzeiger. Bundesanzeiger is where the new laws are published. So thanks for listening to me. If you need my services, you can always contact me. You can find me in my website, and then I will see what I can do for you. I will do the best for you. Bye-bye, and a Happy New Year in advance. Tschüss.